right, welcome to the Tesla semi truck event. I hope you like what you see. I'm going to tell you about everything that this truck can do. It blows my mind. I think it'll blow yours. Starting with performance. So we have an acronym we came up with that I think really describes the performance well. The Tesla Semi will go 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. So that's by itself or with a trailer. Now, at 80,000 pounds max gross vehicle weight, that's the most amount of weight you can carry on a US highway. This is the real-time acceleration of a Tesla Semi. That, on the left, the thing that looks like it's not moving is a diesel truck. Okay, the best diesel trucks can only do 45 miles an hour up a 5% grade. Tesla Semi can do 65 miles an hour up a 5% grade. That's 65 miles an hour continuous at max gross. Now, one of the biggest questions we've been asked about electric trucks is, well, how far can they go? Because, well, let's find out. So, 500-mile range. But what does a 500-mile range mean? And by the way, it's 500 miles at maximum weight at highway speed. So you're doing like 60 miles an hour. Now, how do we achieve this? One of the ways we do this is we design the Tesla truck to be like a bullet. So whereas a normal diesel truck is designed more like a barn wall, this is a bullet. You can see this in the drag coefficient. The Tesla Semi has a 0.36 drag coefficient. So it's got a better drag coefficient than a supercar. Yeah. By the way, you can see that in the design. Part of the way we achieve that is with the bullet-shaped nose. We also have side flaps that map to whatever trailer you're pulling. Whether it's a new trailer or old trailer, the side flaps will map to whatever trailer you're pulling and close the gap. This makes a huge difference to the drag coefficient. The bottom of the truck is also completely flat, so the air can flow straight through. We also have 4 independent motors. So there's a motor on each of the rear wheels and an independent front suspension, so it's incredibly comfortable to drive this truck. It's super easy to drive, and it feels incredibly responsive. It's unlike any truck that you've ever driven. And the point of view that you have is also incredible. We put the driver in the center. So the driver's actually in the center of the truck. You're positioned like you're in a race car. You have complete visibility of the road and all the surroundings. It's a beautiful, spacious interior. You can stand up inside. It's got redundant screens. And it just feels incredible to drive this. It's one of the best feelings. It's incomparably better than any other truck on the road. You really have to drive it to understand just how good that feels. Like, I can drive this thing, and I have no idea how to drive a Semi. So let's take a few more shots of the interior. Just gives you a sense. By the way, we also have like. Also, there's a little trunk in the front. All right. The moment you get the truck, it's got everything. If you're fueling a diesel truck, you've got fumes, spills, toxic environment, prices change all the time. And what a lot of people don't realize is it takes up to 15 minutes or more to actually fill a truck. You have to sit there for 15 minutes. As compared to charging a Tesla truck, you can charge at your origin or destination. So while you're unloading your cargo, you can charge. What about safety? Every truck we sell will have enhanced autopilot as standard. The truck will automatically brake. Yeah, you can read it too. It'll automatically brake, but it will actually automatically lane keep as well. So even if you're in the truck and you have a medical emergency, the truck will stay in lane and gradually come to a halt and put on the emergencies. If it doesn't hear a response from you, it will actually call emergency services and get an ambulance. It's going to take care of you. It's going to take care of other cars. It's going to take care of pedestrians. This is a massive increase in safety. How do you stop your vehicle from jackknifing if you're in difficult conditions? The truck will automatically stop jackknifing because it's got independent motors on each wheel, and it'll dynamically adjust the torque on each wheel so that jackknifing is impossible. Reliability is incredibly important. A truck is your life, it's your business. The truck breaks down, you're disappointing your customers. It's a horrible day, it could be a horrible week. It could break down in the middle of nowhere. The safety issues. Reliability is incredibly important. We're putting massive attention into making this truck incredibly reliable. And that's why we are guaranteeing that this truck will not break down for 1,000,000 miles. We are guaranteeing it won't break down for 1,000,000 miles because it has 4 independent motors. You can lose 2 of those 4 motors and the truck will still keep going. In fact, even if you only have 2 of the 4 motors active, it'll still be a diesel truck. It's not fair, really. So then it has, there's a few other benefits as well. Brakes are a big deal for trucks. You got to stop 80,000 pounds. It's not easy. That's a lot of brake wear. But because with an electric motor, you can turn the brakes into generators. So every time you brake, that kinetic energy of braking goes straight back into the battery pack instead of wearing down a brake pad. So the brake pads basically last forever. You never need to replace brake pads ever. So no brake pad changes ever. You don't have to worry about transmission. There's no transmission. Transmission can't brake. There are no emissions, no scrubbers, no differentials, and this is the feature I like best: thermonuclear explosion-proof glass. Close. I mean, it's close. So standard glass. Now why is this important? Because you see, look, nothing. Survived a nuclear explosion. That was incredible. So actually what's important here is survives a nuclear explosion or you get a full refund. Okay, full refund. The reason this is important is because truck windshields are huge and they crack about once a year. And if the truck windshield is cracked, you're not allowed to drive. So actually it's truck off-road if you have a cracked windshield. And that means lost revenue, disappointed customers. It's a terrible day. And if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, it can take ages to get a new windshield. So actually this detail matters a lot to someone who really understands trucking. It's small but very important. Then we have, in terms of connectivity to your truck, understanding what's going on, we have the Tesla app that gives you full information about your truck. This is sort of normal. It's like we take it for granted if you've got a Model S or Model X or something like that. But this is not normal, actually, for trucks. You have full access to all your truck information. You've got remote diagnostics. You can see what's going on. Preventative maintenance. The truck will actually anticipate when it needs maintenance and inform you ahead of time. It connects with the fleet. So if you're trying to manage a fleet of thousands of trucks, this is also incredibly important. All this data is coming in. You know exactly what's going on. It's going to really help you manage your trucking. Now, having said all this, you're probably wondering how much is this going to cost? Because Tesla stuff is expensive. But we realize that the economics of trucking matter tremendously. If your cost per mile is too high, it doesn't make economic sense. You can't make it work. So we've really thought about this a lot. And when you take everything into account, you take the lease cost, the insurance cost, maintenance, all of the factors, the fully accounted for true cost of trucking, a diesel truck will be 20% more expensive than a Tesla Semi per mile. So, I want to be clear, this is from day one. So from day one, having a Tesla Semi will beat a diesel truck on economics. Day one. And this is a worst case scenario. So it gets better than this. This is the worst case scenario comparison. This is taking max vehicle gross. It's going at 60 miles an hour, and it's assuming $250 gasoline price. We're guaranteeing a 7-cent kilowatt wholesale price. I want to be clear about that. This is real. These are real numbers, and it only gets better than this. This is a worst case scenario. Now, a Tesla truck considered by itself beats other diesel trucks. But what if you have a convoy? So what if you have two trucks following? So you're more like a train driver. In fact, the convoy technology, the tracking technology, this is something that we are confident we can do today 10 times safer than a human driver. So I want to be clear, this is something we can do now. And wait for that plane. There you go. Now if you look at the economics of a truck convoy, it gets way better. Now a diesel truck is twice as expensive as a Tesla Semi. What this means is, it's not just economic suicide to use one diesel truck, it's economic suicide for rail. This beats rail. So, and that's I think really quite profound. We're confident that this is a product that is better in every way from a feature standpoint, that wins on economics against diesel trucks in a worst case scenario, and that defeats rail in a convoy scenario. And production begins 2019. So if you order now, get the truck in 2 years. All right. All right, so that's the Tesla Semi. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. All right, guys, take it away. Thank you. Thanks.